I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to episode 94 of the Best Thing We've Seen podcast. My name is Flo.
And I'm Gabe. How are you?
I'm doing okay, man. I'm doing good. How you doing?
Yeah, same as well. I've had a pretty relaxed day so far, which I enjoyed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Want to go into detail or no? Sorry?
Well, I got up. I had a very disappointing breakfast, took a walk and did the dishes. So, quite productive.
That's what a good day looks like.
Well, later on, I'm going to do some eggplant with Japanese sticky rice. And maybe I bought a big bag of MSG. Everybody says MSG isn't that great for you. But, I've heard that that's, people say worse things about it than it actually is. Yeah. And, let's be honest, MSG is delicious and stuff, and I've had this bag for quite some time, and every time I make a Japanese or Asian dish, I always forget to put it in. But not today. I'm going to make some eggplant with homemade teriyaki sauce. I'm going to put some MSG in there and make it extra delicious.
Yeah.
How about you?
You're going to treat yourself? I kind of hope that you're still going to forget to put it in.
I'm sure I will. I don't know why, but it's just not something that I usually use, so I never opened that bag, which looks very, not great. Not great. It's quite bland and not safe in a way. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the stigma of MSG. I like MSG. It's great.
We're not discriminating against anything. Yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
How about you? What have you eaten today?
I like what's it called? Like a bar? Like not like a protein bar, but like a
chocolate bar,
something,
a candy bar.
No, but like the healthier version, like a grain bar.
That sounds disgusting. Okay,
is that the no? Like a corny?
Yeah, sure. Like oats and shit.
Like oats and shit. Yes, yes.
I'm not a word man.
Me neither.
But yeah, that sounds. I don't know. Those I don't know, oat bars or whatever. They're always quite bland, aren't they? They could use some MSG.
Put that on the slogan.
Yeah. In the new year, we're transitioning to a new show, the Best Thing We've Eaten Today show, and it's going to be MSG every day.
I feel like you've been doing that show for years. You're keeping us updated on your meal schedule.
Yeah, I like to talk about foods. Sure. I feel like I've been doing something when I cook. It's that small moment of success if I made something that doesn't make me want to throw up.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
No, it's beautiful. That's enough. That's plenty. How was your week in terms of watching things?
Not a lot, but a lot of what I've seen was pretty darn good.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you? Because
I've seen one thing.
Okay. So I just want to say there's at least one thing that we saw together.
Yeah.
It kind of narrows it down for me.
Yeah, it's not going to be a big surprise. I mean, yeah, we talked about it. We teased it last week, but I'm sure we're going to dive into it in a bit. I don't know how we're going to do this because I don't know what your pick is going to be. You know my pick now since it's only one thing.
Yes. So I'm going to spoil this for you, but not for the rest of the people listening. I'm going to start off with an honorable mention, and you can then go over to your pick. Maybe our pick. It's going to be our pick.
Yeah. Okay.
Riveting. Okay.
Riveting stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, welcome.
You got two things. Sorry.
I got two things.
Gotcha.
First of all, welcome back to, the regular episodes. Here we talk about the best thing that we've seen all week. Anything from a show to a movie to a YouTube video, even maybe. And yeah, we're going to talk about recent stuff, fairly recent stuff, 6 months or so. We take that as a guideline, something that came out in the last 6 months or so in Austria. Because, that's
patriotism.
Patriotism, exactly. And yeah, I'm going to start off with an honorable mention, and that is on the very edge of the 6 month mark, I think, at least, for when it came out in Austria. For when it came out in the US, I think it was like the end of last year. the beginning of this year.
I don't remember when this came out. I know what this is because you told me yesterday, but I don't know when that came out.
Yeah, but my honorable mention is something that I've had my eye on for quite some time, and it's been on Amazon Prime for some time, but it cost like $15 to rent or something, and it finally dropped down to $5, which, is all right. I'm the richest guy. I am quite frugal at times, and I thought, all right, that's a deal. And I watched Judas and the Black Messiah, the big movie starring Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield and some other actors, some big actors, just like Jesse Plemons, who's been in everything lately. I mean, good for that dude. And Martin Sheen, even, as J. Edgar Hoover. It is a quite acclaimed movie, I think, when it came out. It even won an Oscar or two, I think, for Daniel Kaluuya.
I don't think that's right.
Didn't he win? Because it was Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield both being nominated as supporting actors, even though they're both technically leading actors in this.
Right.
I think he won. Might be wrong.
I'm fairly certain he didn't, because what would he have won? Best supporting actor?
I think he won Best Supporting Actor. I think it's a situation quite similar to Viola Davis in Fences, since it's such a big role, but it's nominated in a minor, lesser category, kinda, which kind of assured him the win. I mean, he's fucking great.
You're right. I had no idea. I mean, I did not watch the Academy Awards last year because it was that weird hybrid of like it being, I think it was digital, and then some people were there, but some weren't.
Yes, I think so as well. Some didn't even show up.
Yeah. Like Hopkins,
Anthony Hopkins,
right? Yeah. But you're right, he won, yeah. Daniel Kaluuya did, yeah, crazy.
He won, and he was censoring myself.
Since when are you censoring yourself?
And he's fucking amazing. He plays Fred Hampton, a real person who was a leader of the Black Panther movement in the 70s, early 70s, late 60s, I think. Might be wrong there, but I think it was late 60s, early 70s. And Lakeith Stanfield, who is a delinquent, he gets caught by the police, and he gets the choice by Jesse Plemons, who works for the FBI, either go to jail or become an informant for the FBI on the Black Panther movement and infiltrate them. It's a real story. It opens up with a shot of Lakeith Stanfield being interviewed, like after the fact, and talking about his character. Are you proud of what you did? What are you going to tell your children? Which is apparently a real interview. And he pretty much says exactly what the real person does, and then goes over to the story of how it happened. And Fred Hampton is even a character, or even was portrayed in, what's it called? Trial of the Chicago 5?
7, yeah.
Chicago 7, exactly. He makes an appearance there, so you know kind of what happens to him if you've seen that movie.
Who plays him?
I forgot. Not a big actor. I sadly forgot his name.
But surely Bobby Seale, right? Surely that's Bobby Seale in Trial of the Chicago 7, who's like the representative of the Black Panther movement, played by, what's his name? Yahya Abdul. Shit. What's his name?
I think he plays another dude. I don't remember the movie well, but I think it was another actor. He only appears in the movie for a very short amount of time.
Okay, then it might be someone else.
But anyway, yeah, it's a real story of how that went down, and it's portrayed fantastically. I mean, I really like Lakeith Stanfield. That's one of the reasons why I had my eye out for that movie. But I gotta say, Lakeith Stanfield was amazing in this, but Daniel Kaluuya kind of stole the show at moments. He was so fucking riveting to watch, and there's of course those big scenes where he's in front of a crowd giving speeches. Those are the kind of scenes that always kind of give you goosebumps, or to really take you with them emotionally.
Sure.
And he did that so fucking good. I think he had a real presence there, and I don't know him from a lot of stuff. Daniel Kaluuya, I mostly know him from Get Out, of course, and Black Panther, which was a minor role.
Skins.
Well, who was he in Skins again?
I love everybody listening. You could hear his brain work there for a second.
Yeah. Like working it out. And which season was he in?
I think the first and the second one.
I don't remember him.
He doesn't have like a huge part, but he's one of the crew, one of the gang. With Nick Holt, 100%.
Yeah, I remember Nick Holt, Dev Patel, and I forgot the actress's name who then later on starred in Game of Thrones, but don't remember Kahlua. I mean, it's been some time since I watched that show.
Yeah. No, he's got like a little part, but he's a reoccurring character.
Okay, good for him.
Yeah. Good for him.
But yeah, Judas and the Black Messiah, which, kind of explains the title now. And you haven't watched this. Are you even interested in watching this? Or is this something, if you see it on Netflix at some point or...
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been running out to see it, even in the digital way. But it sounds interesting. I actually didn't really, or maybe I had forgotten by now what it was about. And I definitely forgot that Kaluuya won for this. So, yeah, I'm more intrigued now than I was before because the story sounds interesting too.
It is really cool. And, also the opening of Lakeith Stanfield's character not giving a fuck about, the Black Panther movement. The fuck does he care? Just doesn't want to go to jail, but then kind of gets swept up in what's going on. And the charisma of Daniel Kaluuya and, seeing the injustice that's out there.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's insane. That film, I think you're right. It came out like at the back end of 2020 in the States. It's like, how is that a year ago? Like, it hit me like yesterday that it's already almost 2022. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I need to check it out for sure.
Yeah, I think it came out here technically on the internet in like, I want to say July. I think July.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always shit to see those movies so late, but because, you can't see them in cinemas then. But it was such a cool surprise to finally, it dropped in price. Let's see it. And it actually was as good as I hoped for it to be.
Yeah.
Which says something because this would have been my pick if it hadn't been for something else.
I was going to say, I'm surprised
blew me
this
off
isn't
my
your
feet.
pick. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I wanted it to be, but it didn't quite make the cut because, something huge came out.
Something huge did come out, yes. Would
Flo
you
unzipped his pants. Sorry,
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Would you like to do a spoiler talk on this?
It came out like yesterday.
What?
Like 3-4 days ago when this comes out, I think.
Right.
Maybe, the people who really want to watch that movie have probably watched it by then.
Yes.
And yeah,
I always
haven't
think
thought
like
about this.
I would never listen to a podcast that talks about this film, even if it was a spoiler-free version, because I just don't want anything to be spoiled for me. Even though,
fair enough.
So I'm like, if I listen to something about it, I might as well listen to the everything, to the whole like every twist and turn, to discuss everything.
Fair enough. So okay, if you haven't watched the movie, go out. The pick is. You want to go ahead and say?
Is it my turn? I already forgot again. So it's my turn.
I think it's your turn.
Yeah, I've seen one thing. So my pick of the week is Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yes. And if you haven't seen it, please go out and see it. It's a huge movie, even if you're not the biggest Marvel fan, you're not up to date, but you're kind of interested. But, what could have one or two little spoilers do? I do recommend watching it first and come back to this episode when you have. Maybe you find something that you enjoy, something that you agree with.
Yeah.
Or you don't.
I mean, we can do like the first bit, spoiler free, then go to the trailer, and then after the trailer, we'll talk about it in depth. Does that sound good?
Sure.
So Spider-Man No Way Home, as you said, it dropped a couple of days ago. It already is projected to be the biggest film of the year. I think it's got one of the top 7 openings of all time in the States. It's projected to be that way, which is quite a feat during a pandemic. But for whatever reason, that Tom Holland guy is very popular. I didn't mean that. No, I was going to say that sounded like I don't understand. I'm just like, because I like him. I'm just like, that popular, extremely popular. But Spider-Man No Way Home, it picks up right after Far From Home. I always get confused with these titles. Where J. Jonah Jameson revealed to the world, Mysterio, Quentin Beck himself, revealed to the world the true identity of Peter Parker as Spider-Man. And No Way Home picks up right after that, and he doesn't want everyone to know, so he talks to his good friend Stephen Strange to make everyone forget that he is indeed Spider-Man. And shit goes wrong, and universes collide.
Sure.
Yeah, multiverse is created, and a lot of enemies from past films show up to confront Peter Parker. So here's a little clip from Spider-Man No Way Home.
Ever since I got bit by that spider, I've only had 1 week. where my life has felt normal. That was when you found out.
When you botched that spell where you wanted everyone to forget the Peter Parker Spider-Man, we started getting some visitors. From every universe. Hello, Peter. You're not Peter Parker.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Wait, no, seriously, what's your actual name?
There are others out there. We need to send them back. So, Scooby-Doo this crap.
You know, all this is kind of your mess. I know a couple of magic words myself, starting with the word please.
Please, Scooby-Doo this crap.
All right. So yeah, I don't even know where. It's going to be interesting what is in this trailer because I don't think I watched the last trailer. I did watch the first one. I know you didn't watch any of them.
Yeah, that's a question I would just want to ask you because, yeah, I haven't seen any of them. I was sadly still spoiled because it's hard to forego some of the characters making an appearance. Just on one of the posters, you see some tentacles, some metal tentacles.
Yeah.
And was a YouTube ad, like 5 seconds long. You couldn't even skip it. And it just opens. You don't even know what you're about to see. And you just see a fucking glider. I was like, come on. I knew about one character. I didn't know who was going to be in this, which just kind of pissed me off. I mean, there were still some surprises out there, but it's so hard not to be spoiled these days. I do my best, but...
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to call it spoiled because it is promotional material, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, all of this, I mean, there are still some other cool things that make an appearance. Are we in the spoiler section now?
Let's dive into this, yes.
Okay, because... Yeah, they do promote the villains, but not the heroes coming back. The other Spider-Mans, which was a huge moment. I loved it. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I'm so happy that we saw this on the first day. We saw it in a big crowd, even though, you know, the circumstances aren't ideal. But just the reaction of the crowd is something that is hard to forget, and it's way more enjoyable to watch it that way. Just the clapping, just the pure enjoyment of the crowd when Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire walked on stage. Beautiful.
It sounded like they were with us in the cinema. When they came out and greeted everyone in Vienna, we were like, Jesus, what?
Would have been amazing, yeah. But as far as I'm aware, that was not part of the promotional material and was never revealed before they
Well, there were
screened it.
thousands of leaks and fan theories and...
of course. It was kind of to be expected once you knew the villains are going to be in there.
I mean, kind of, to me, is an understatement. There would have been riots if they hadn't shown up.
Yeah. I mean, I was just waiting for it. And the
Exactly.
thing is, I think it would have been so amazing to get this movie with just, you know, what is Spider-Man going to do? And he goes to Doctor Strange and wants to make everyone forget their consequences. Just cut it there. I mean, it's hard to promote a movie with just that little bit of information, but it is the MCU. Let's not kid ourselves. Everybody's going to watch it anyway.
I thought it was... No, sorry.
No, it would have been just way more impactful if you had no idea, and then you suddenly see fucking Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. What is going on? Then just suddenly there's a glider. Jesus Christ, how far are they going to take it? And then you just see it unravel. But since you already know the premise, you're like, I don't know. I mean, if had just been, I don't know, the Green Goblin, just the outfit, you could have been, maybe there's another actor. Maybe just brought back the villain. But no, as soon as you see Alfred Molina, you know, they're going to do a crossover.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to come back to what you just said. I want to, kind of like structure our like little talk about this because I don't quite know how to tackle this because it's a huge film.
Yes.
I don't even know where to begin. Like in terms of story, there's no the main bit and the selling point is the return of so many actors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And maybe let's talk about it this way because I feel like you're more into the film than I am. So
Yeah, you think so?
I definitely.
I was blown away. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but I did thoroughly enjoy it.
Okay.
But where would you? So what are your overall thoughts? Like, not like in terms of like moments or intricacies or like things. What's your overall feelings first about the film? Like, where does it rank in terms of like Spider-Man movies and in the MCU?
Yeah, I thought about this immediately because I've been thinking about MCU a lot just because of Hawkeye, etc. now coming out, and I think this ranks quite high. I think it's probably my favorite Spider-Man so far. I think it could be my top 3 MCU films of all time. I really enjoyed this. I mean, it's tough to say since I've seen it one time and it was a element of just pure enjoyment, euphoria in the crowd, just being there for it. Might be different when I rewatch this, but as of now, I had a great fucking time. I absolutely loved it. How about you?
You remember after the second, like after Far From Home, you saying you got a new favorite MCU film?
Once again, it was a joke, but I still enjoyed it.
I know. I can't take you seriously now, Yeah. I have no idea. Like, to me, I'm just going like in terms of like the Tom Holland Spider-Man films. Mm-hmm. It's between this and Homecoming for me. Mm-hmm. In terms like because I really did love Homecoming. Sure. And to me, Homecoming is completely different than Far From Home because No Way Home. See, there it goes with the confusion. To me, No Way Home is the closest thing in the MCU to Endgame in terms of like it being almost entirely fan service.
Yes.
And Homecoming was kind of like, they're rebooting the franchise for the third time, and it's just like expectations were low. And the whole John Hughes element and the great Michael Keaton twist, those were all things that weren't expected, and those are all things that made the film much better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really that much fan service in that. Like, I don't think anything comes close to Endgame and No Way Home. Sure. So it's difficult to sort of, compare the two because to me, they're completely different things. And my issue with No Way Home is that it was just a bunch of unspoken truths put on screen. There were little to no surprises to me. I mean, for me, the biggest sort of plot point that I didn't see coming or didn't even think about was that Aunt May died, right? Because you thought about this?
I gotta say, yeah. No, I didn't think about it beforehand. It took me by surprise, and it's, I think, one of the reasons why I really enjoyed this, because I didn't think that this is a route they were gonna go down, and it, especially towards the end, it gets quite dark, which one wouldn't think of one of the most naive and childish characters in the MCU, maybe the exception of Quill.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the two main guys coming back. Did you? So you did expect it, right?
Yes, I was not sure how far they were gonna go. I thought there was a light possibility of them bringing in the animated movie.
Sure.
Which probably would have gone too far. But I expected it to happen at some point. And then there's a scene, of course, where Ned starts opening a portal. You see a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, there it is. There it is. Come on, come closer, step into the light. There you are. So, yeah, I expected it, but it was still a great moment how it was revealed.
Yeah, it wasn't about the if, but the how.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's such a shame. Imagine the ovation. I mean, it's difficult when you're promoting a Spider-Man film about the multiverse. And that's I got so many points here because Endgame, like in terms of like the whole ovation thing in the crowd, I took a deep dive on YouTube yesterday, and that was because there's some clips of like audience reactions and everything, and basically everyone was like, I even saw someone like posting like, I just saw this in Austria 2 hours ago, and it was like a crowd of like I've never seen before, and because we're usually quite restrained, like Austrians and like I think Germans as well, they're like quite restrained when watching something in cinema. Compared to Americans, it's like a fucking Super Bowl when they're watching something like this.
Never been to the US, so I don't know, but sure.
No, that's what I've heard. right?
Sure. Cool. I mean, you've been to
right
at
Toronto.
least Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
That was also very subdued in a good
Okay.
way. I think it's like in a respectful way. Not saying that the other option isn't respectful. It's just a different way of approaching film. Film, but the ovation in No Way Home when Andrew Garfield came in and when Tobey Maguire came in was probably I think among the the loudest I've experienced in cinemas.
Same.
I think it came close or even surpassed some moments in Endgame.
Yeah.
But to me, Endgame is like, or Infinity War, when Thor arrives in Wakanda with the epic music, or in Endgame when Cap grabs the hammer and when he goes, Avengers Assemble, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are all moments that I never thought about beforehand, right?
Mm-hmm.
It happened on screen during the 3 hours or whatever when I saw it, and it was to me it was a complete surprise in the moment. There he goes again. In No Way Home,
Yeah.
those two biggest moments
Mm-hmm.
were no surprise whatsoever. As I said before, it's not like an if; it was more like a how. Now,
Sure.
I do think that they managed. The way they especially introduced Andrew Garfield was amazing. I think they did a really, really great job with the portal and everything, and him like sprinting towards us, and beautifully done. But then again, Tobey Maguire's reveal was even less of a surprise, because then you're just like, you know exactly what's going to happen, right? Even the way they're going to bring him back. Just like, let's open up another portal. Oh, who's that going to be? They're not going to not include Tobey Maguire now.
I mean,
what I'm
once they
saying?
did the first one, they had to do the other one
Exactly.
immediately because,
Exactly. I thought it was interesting that they showed Andrew Garfield first. I told you that as well. But
I think maybe because everybody expected Tobey Maguire, but less people expected Andrew Garfield. You even talked about interviews of Andrews, a friend of ours, of Andrew Garfield's, where he blatantly lies and says, no, he has no idea. No, sadly, he would have been great, but no.
Yeah.
Instead of giving the usual lines, which you said, like, didn't get the call, etc.
Yeah, even Holland in interviews was just like, unfortunately, like I'd love to work with those two guys, but unfortunately it's not in this film. Like,
sure.
Great how open we're now about, fake news. It's spreading throughout the world,
I appreciate it.
No, sure. I mean,
That's some fake news I can get behind.
Right. But I mean, I didn't buy it. Once it's a Spider-Man film and people are coming back, actors are coming back, Molina, Defoe, Jamie Foxx, they cannot do a film where they bring back all of these iconic villains and not even show them for just a second. There's no way, And my point with all these moments and like it being a surprise or not, I loved it during, like when I watched it, I was like, fuck yeah, they did it, right? Because it's just a great moment.
Sure.
But I'm longing for a moment it's gonna be in the MCU because those are like these kind of like fan service moments, but I would love to just be literally like swept off my feet with a surprise. You know what I mean? And that
so
didn't happen in
difficult,
No Way. Yeah,
sure.
that didn't. But funnily enough, to transition for this, my favorite moment in the entire film was definitely, and that's kind of something that I didn't see coming.
Okay.
Was Andrew Garfield saving MJ. I fucking love that scene. When she falls off and then obviously Holland gets like pushed out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Garfield's performance in that, and just the way that to me comes close to in terms of like writing fan service, like good fan service.
Sure.
That comes close to like the on your left moment in Endgame to me.
Oh,
That's
really?
just
I mean,
brilliant writing.
You're a bigger Amazing Spider-Man fan, like Andrew Garfield's version. And I had to say, I didn't remember a lot of it. And he even talks about the tragedy that struck there. I completely forgot about his whole story with Gwen or MJ or whatever that person was called.
But surely, wow, a big fan
Emma
of whatever
Stone,
that person was called. Yeah, but surely once you see him in No Way Home, you remember the scene at the end of the second Amazing Spider-Man, no?
I don't. I think I've seen Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I completely forgot about it. I don't know.
Okay, no, fair.
I didn't really like those interpretations of Spider-Man or like that version. So I gotta say, I remembered very, very little except for how Jamie Foxx looks before he gets transformed.
Yeah. He does look
Yeah.
a bit better in this one. Yeah, I mean, I love that moment. There's overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the film. But if it weren't for Garfield and Maguire coming back. And by the way, I was surprised as to how big their actual parts are.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be like they're going to have maybe one scene. But they're actually like a pivotal part of the story. And when they all team up at the end, and also the film was beautifully shot, I thought. There was some great imagery on screen. I got goosebumps many, many times. And towards the end, when they're all like in formation and talking about their tactics and talking about their old films in quotes, you're talking about the villains they faced and cracking each other's backs because they're old now. I loved pretty much every interaction between the three of them. But if it weren't for that, the story, and it's I know. It's like weird to critique a story, but someone came up with the idea of bringing them all back, and this is a 2.5 hour film of that. The story doesn't come close to Homecoming for me, right? It's sort of a means to an end.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it is fan service, but like Endgame, it is fan service at its best, and it's just a very enjoyable ride, which, it does open up the question, is it as good the second time when you've already experienced the hype and the excitement during those scenes? Because the story might not be as interesting. I
think it's going to hold up. I think it's going to hold up for sure.
I gotta say, one of my highlights of character's return was Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin.
Yeah, he was great.
I loved Willem Dafoe no matter what he does, pretty much. But, the first Spider-Man was, of course, also my first exposure to Spider-Man movies. And I absolutely loved that movie. I watched it 1,000 times, I feel like. And I really liked that villain, to be honest. And it's so cool to kind of see him come back and to kind of remember how dark he was compared to a lot of MCU villains now. Like when Tom Holland beats him and he just laughs and laughs. It's such a cool moment. It kind of reminds you of the Joker. Yeah. And actually put up a menacing villain in that movie. Because out of all the villains there, I think he was the coolest. And I'm glad they focused on him being the ultra bad guy, kind of.
Yeah. It's like he never left, right? It's been 20 years, but he just snapped right back into the role.
Yeah, but I heard actually, I don't know if they de-aged him as well, but they de-aged Alfred Molina.
Okay.
Kinda, which is cool. I mean, apparently also Willem Dafoe, I read that like today, I don't know if it's true, that Willem Dafoe wants to do his own stunts for this movie.
Okay.
Like one of the conditions he put up to be in this movie. Apparently he has a lot of fun doing that. And it's like that scene where he then blows up the building and kills Aunt May. Didn't see that coming. Didn't think they had the balls to do that, and it worked for me so much because you think she's hurt, you think she's down, then she gets up and it's like, she's gonna fall down. No, it actually seems like it's gonna be alright, but no, it isn't. And then that last scene where Spider-Man almost kills him and is so determined. I half expected of him taking the glider and then smashing it like just to the left of his face and be like, no, I'm bigger than that.
Right.
No, he wasn't in that moment. He wasn't. And everybody saw what he was capable of if pushed too far. And I loved that.
Right, but right after it, when Tobey Maguire sort of stops him, Green Goblin stabs him, and everyone, that's like in I think it was, was it Infinity War or Endgame now? I can't remember. I think it was Infinity War, where Iron Man gets stabbed, and everyone's like, he's dying. Like that was unnecessary to me. Why? Because he's at the end, Tobey Maguire goes, I've been stabbed many, many times before. That was such a visceral strike that I thought they were going to kill off Tobey Maguire now.
I thought so as well. Like, giving the mantle up to their new character.
Yeah, but I would have hated that.
Yeah.
Send it back to his MJ. Absolutely no way to kill him off.
Sure.
Sorry, no need to kill him off. Yeah. I mean, but the story, like Doctor Strange, he might want to think it through before he casts a spell that alters everything, Talk about it beforehand, what he wants to include and who he wants to exclude from the spell. It seemed a bit weird to just go like, let's do it. Let's change everything.
I mean, he's stressed. He isn't the Grand Wizard anymore. He was like, okay. I don't know.
Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah.
Sorcerer Supreme, sure.
Yeah. Some other like fun things like Matt Murdock. Now I gotta say, Kevin Feige came out like a week ago, and he goes like, and it was like news all over the place. Breaking news: Charlie Cox is gonna return as Daredevil in the MCU.
Oh, okay.
A week ago.
Sure.
And it was like a scoop, and he's coming back, and Kevin Feige confirmed it. And I was like, okay, interesting. You know, I watched the first season of Daredevil when it came out. I didn't watch anything else. But I was like, okay, you know, I don't have a huge connection to Daredevil. But anyway, you know, interesting. Let's see, like 2 years down the line when he's going to come back. A week later, we were in No Way Home. And I think it's this in the first 10 minutes, there he is, Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, for one scene. Now, I'm kind of torn between this because, first of all, Kevin, why go about telling people that he's coming back a week before No Way Home comes out? There's absolutely no need for that.
To build the hype, because I would assume they're going to do a season 3 then as well.
No, I think I don't know. I don't know
because
now if it's a show.
There are other characters now popping up.
Yeah, let's not spoil that though.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it too much. What I've heard of, and if they're gonna do it the way I think they will, who knows? There might be a season 3. They might, or they might just put him into the new Avengers. He might be a bit too weak for that, but
maybe that was it. Just one scene in No Way.
Oh, that would be so weird. I am scared that they spoiled something that I don't want to talk about. You know?
I don't know now. Maybe
in private.
Okay. You're scared that No Way Home spoiled that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about it. Yeah.
But I gotta say, what did I just want to say? I gotta say, yeah, it's interesting that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I mean, John Watts directed all 3 of them, which is not that common, right? To direct the whole trilogy, and there might be more movies coming out. And I'm glad that he did it. I mean, he's still the right guy for this. And I do love the iteration of Spider-Man that he created. Directed. I mean, I still can't get over the fact that you said this is your least favorite Spider-Man version.
Oh, that sounds like the movie. I'm talking about Tom
the
Holland.
Character. Yeah.
I'm talking about, but this is in no way denigrating Tom Holland's performance. To me, I grew up with Tobey Maguire. I love
the building.
Sorry?
Same building.
Yeah, I grew up with him. As Spider-Man, Sure. I love Andrew Garfield as an actor, and I never understood. I always thought he was a great Spider-Man, even though the movies might not be as good as some others.
Sure.
So, as I said yesterday, Tom Holland to me is just like the third Spider-Man, but he is great. I got nothing bad to say about him. It's just like, if I had to choose, I would go for the other ones first, maybe just because that was Tobey was the first Spider-Man that I was introduced to.
Sure, maybe. You're a traditionalist.
Yeah. But, so in terms of like speaking, like there's going to be a new trilogy coming and Tom Holland, everyone's like very coy about it, like if they're going to be in it or whatever. Mm-hmm. To me, this is a great trilogy. And I would actually, I don't want another reboot. So, I'll be excited if they come up with something good for the next film and if they're going to return. But this ending could be the ending for him as well. It's not like I wouldn't be mad if this was it. It would be a fucking great trilogy, No need to sort of draw it out even longer. But then again, if they come up with great ideas, which Marvel can do, I'll be there.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it either. Yesterday when we talked about it, I was kind of on board. He's a cool Spider-Man. I would like to see him again. But yeah, you're right. Today I was also kind of thinking about the movie and the ending, and it is a kind of a nice. Well, not really ends, but it opens up new doors, but it kind of lets you take your imagination somewhere, and that's fine. You don't need to know more necessarily. So yeah, it would be a good way to end it, but I do think there could be more cool stories to tell with that character, and I just want to see him and MJ. I mean, him and Zendaya have great chemistry for some reason. I don't know. It's like they really like each other. Which is quite nice.
You know they're together, right?
Yeah.
So I couldn't read you there for a second.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Too little sarcasm in my voice.
No, all good.
No.
But like there's obviously the new Spider-Verse is coming out in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Into the Spider-Verse 2.
You think Tom Holland's going to be in that one?
No. I don't know how they're going to mix up animated with real life. You know, it's been done before, of course, but that would be...
He might be animated.
Maybe. We'll see.
No.
I thought they would like hint at the Spider-Verse in No Way Home, but literally in just like a flash. When they open up a portal, there he is for 1 second. And I guarantee you they shot that. And then they just didn't include
That could be.
Just Ned opening up a portal and it's like a cartoon and he's just like, oh, I don't need that, closes it again.
Yeah. I thought so something like along those lines was gonna make an appearance as well.
Yeah.
But no, apparently. No.
But one more time back to Garfield and Maguire. To me, I think Garfield never got the ending he deserved. And you heard him talk about he was sad about it, how it ended, because he loved playing the character, but it just didn't work out. I think he actually talked to Amy Adams about this in like a variety thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, gotta watch that.
That it broke his heart or whatever back in the day.
Oh.
So it was literally, to me, that's the highlight of the film, that Andrew Garfield was allowed to come back. I thought he did a brilliant job. And I love also, not like that Tom Holland has any influence on this. He wouldn't be like, no, Kevin, let's not give him screen time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I just love the fact that both Garfield and Maguire got to play integral parts of the story. And I think Tom Holland was happy to step aside for certain scenes and let them be the stars right now. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It feels like the three, they got great chemistry in this. It's great. It maybe sounds like I didn't enjoy it. I did thoroughly enjoy this film. I would not go as far and say that this is a top 3 MCU film, but I'm not going to say that it might, I think it's maybe it has
10?
potential to it. Yeah, for sure. Sure. I'll say top 10. I got to digest it more too. I mean, it's a lot of things happened, and I don't know, man.
I'm really looking forward to rewatching it. And when do you think it's going to come out on Disney Plus? Because I don't think I can pay another $17.
But it's going to be that on Disney Plus as well, isn't it? Or are the Marvel things included?
She just came out as Shang, without premiere access a couple of weeks or like a month or two after release.
Yes, it's always the same thing. I think we talked about this. I forgot. I think it's like maybe 6 weeks after the cinematic release on Disney Plus or something like that.
Yeah, because I think I am going to watch it there again. I mean, no comparison to IMAX, of course, but now they got IMAX enhanced.
Yeah, I know.
On Disney Plus, so.
There's actually like a rumor that, or not a rumor, but the Destin Daniel Cretton, the director of Shang-Chi, he talked about there's going to be a second one, and he said that he would love to cast Jackie Chan. My God, could you imagine Jackie Chan and Shang-Chi? It would be fucking amazing. There's not like a rumor that it's happening. He literally just said like he would love to include him. That would be amazing.
That would be great.
Amazing. Yeah.
Or Bruce Lee.
Well,
sorry,
it's
Bruce.
Jet Li.
Sorry,
it's going to be
the
a bit
wrong
difficult.
Lee. Jet Li. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Last thing
let's stick him up, boys.
Yeah. Well, you could the CGI of it.
I hate that.
I know.
Dude's dead.
I know. Last thing I got written down here is that the thing with Venom too. At the end of the way they handled this in No Way Home was a bit of a disappointment too. At the end of Venom 2, they teased that Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy is going to be involved in included in the MCU as well, in an after credit scene. And now in No Way Home, he's in the after credit scene again. It's like, what? There's a little, he disappears at the end of it as well, so he might not even be in the MCU now. He just left like a little thing of Venom, but there, so that you have potential to include Venom in the next film. But to me, it seems like that Tom Hardy's not even going to be in it.
I was kind of glad about that, to be honest, because I'm not a huge fan of Venom, and I think it might have been cool to have maybe a scene with him. But had he been in there, had he been in like an integral villain, although he's more of a hero and had been be a hero along Andrew Garfield and Maguire would have been felt off to me. So I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many characters in this. I would not have maybe enjoyed like them putting in Venom as well. It would have been too much. But to me, it feels weird that they tease it at the end of Venom 2. for it to only be another tease at the end of No Way Home. You know, that kind
Sure.
of felt off to me.
Sure.
But with what I wanted to say before with Matt Murdock, like Kevin Feige, like spoiling that he's going to be in it. Actually, like I'm torn about it because once on one side I didn't want it to be revealed, but then on the other side I'm like, it's kind of ballsy to go like he's going to be in the MCU and then he's not going to be in like 2 years, but he's going to be in like in a week's time. It's kind of like I was actually surprised to see him there already. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, it's a weird thing. Yeah.
I'm surprised to see him at all. And I wonder if he's going to be back, if he's going to get another season, if they're going to revive the other characters, such as Punisher, etc.
The way I understood it is that it's not going to be just another season of Daredevil, but him actually like being involved in the MCU and in the films.
Right.
That's what I thought.
I really enjoyed the show, though.
Yeah,
Really
no,
did.
yeah.
Out of all of the MCU or just Marvel Netflix shows, I thought it was definitely the best.
Yeah. So anyway, to wrap this up, we've
Yep.
been going long. This was it's an experience. It's
Sure.
probably, I mean, yeah, it is probably the best cinematic experience I've had this year.
Mhm.
I
I mean,
can't think of anything that comes close in terms of like
Yeah.
ovation and epic moments.
gotta
and,
be, yeah.
Yeah. But what were like your favorite moments? Like, was it just like them coming back or anything else?
Like I said, like Green Goblin laughing while their fighting was really intense. I thought that scene was well made. I don't know. It's hard to say. Gotta think about this more. What was like one of your favorite scenes apart from Andrew Garfield saving MJ?
Well, I mean, apart from that, it was them coming back.
Sure, of course, yeah.
I mean, what was some other, like, I said it before, like them whole teaming up and discussing tactics and going Peter 1, Peter 2. And I just, I think this is, it's got great dialogue. I really, I love the interactions between the three of them. Pretty much every scene they were in together, I loved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, also, yeah, just the first time that Doc Ock shows up. So a really cool fight in the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy the whole concept of like trapping every supervillain in the basement of Strange, and like Ned and MJ are there to sort of like look after them. That felt a bit like, surely we're gonna do more than put two kids there to protect them, or to look after them.
They're Scooby doing this shit, which I was quite surprised of by that crude language.
In the trailer, it's crap.
Ah.
Yeah. But we
Well,
watched
look
the
at them being
explicit
ballsy.
version. Yeah.
So it's got that element of like kids playing with fire.
Sure.
I really enjoyed those scene where they can't close the portal.
Yeah.
And just struggling with that, not really knowing how this power works.
Sure.
And then, that lizard dude. Who is that lizard dude? Who's he played by? Who's that actor? He seems so familiar. I know he's
Fans. I never
Okay.
know how to pronounce his name, and I apologize.
Okay.
But he's Hugh
In
Grant's
one.
roommate in Notting Hill.
Uh-huh. I think you've told me this before. I think somebody told me this. Yeah, you're so right. Yeah. Weird choice.
Yeah, but he played him in the
the first
Amazing
one.
Spider-Man.
Amazing, yeah.
Was it the first one? I can't remember. Yeah, probably.
I think so. Second one
Yeah.
is Electro.
Yeah. And Dane DeHaan as the Goblin, right?
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. How does he look
Yeah.
as the Goblin?
Great. I don't know.
Yeah,
And
like his costume or whatever.
It's not as green, if I remember correctly. It's not as green.
What a shame. I missed the mask of Defoe's character and then just having the hood, which is, I think, also how he kind of looks in the comics. That hood on.
Yeah.
I think so. But I think the Green Goblin is actually like a Green Goblin in the comics, as far as I'm aware. It's not just a costume; it's like a genetic mutation or whatever.
Yeah.
What?
I think like thinking of like the first Spider-Man with the mask and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's to me so weird that like obviously they teased the new Doctor Strange film at the end of this,
Mhm.
which is now directed by Sam Raimi. So it's such a weird multiverse.
Full circle, yeah.
Yeah. Because obviously like the whole Spider-Man, like basically the characters that Sam Raimi made famous are in that film now, but he didn't direct it, but he's gonna direct the new Strange one. It's funny. But yeah, John Watts did a great job, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, they showed the trailer, like you said, at the very end.
Yeah.
took me a long time to realize this is a trailer. I was
Yeah.
like, is this a trailer? I'm not sure. And then, that way I was kind of spoiled. But I wasn't really spoiled. They kind of teased it at the end of something else anyway. Fuck it, I'm talking in circles. Yeah, I had a great time. Gotta say, great time. And like I said, I gotta say, I think everybody who's listened so far has seen it as well. So maybe write in the comments if you enjoyed it as well, or you thought, you saw everything coming anyway.
But you understand what I'm coming from, right?
Of
Where
course.
I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It's weird because it still works, and I think that's a kind of a great achievement.
But that's like the thing with Endgame. It's kind of fan service. You know they're gonna bring everyone back, but just the way they did it,
Right. Well, yeah.
so enjoyable.
Well said. I actually hadn't thought about that. Yeah, that's right. Obviously, they bring everyone back, and you expected that, right? But to me, like, the great moments of Endgame were like still other scenes, the ones that I talked about before.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And to me, in No Way Home, it's sort of like all about them coming back, And it's so interesting to me what impact an actor has, right? They get millions of dollars for just showing up now, but just because they played characters that even Garfield, like not everyone, people hated those films, but now he's coming back, and it's like the biggest ovation of the year. And I understand it. It is cool, but it's kind of like it's such a cheap thing to do, and that's how I described the film yesterday. But it sounds denigrating, and it is to a certain extent. But cheap things can be great too. It's not like a brainstorming session in like the writer's room. What can we do? Hey, I have this great idea. Let's bring everyone back, right? People have had that fan theory for years or whatever.
Sure.
But they still managed to pull it off in an interesting and engaging way. So
yeah, it's an easy idea, but I'm sure it's hard as heck to execute.
To execute it well, yeah. But I think the actors were happy to come back, right? I mean, there were so many.
They seemed like they had fun, yeah.
Yeah. I tried to steer clear of all of these rumors because there were like leaks and set videos, and everyone was like, "That's the Photoshop or a deep fake." I actually just saw that yesterday. I managed to sort of steer clear from that like beforehand. But yeah, man, I just imagine somehow to have no idea that they're coming back. You know what I'm saying? That's all I've been thinking about. Just imagine the ovation of just like, fuck, what is happening? What is happening? And to wrap this up, one last thing. I love that it could have been like a cut and there they were.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Sort of like to startle you a bit. There they are. But I love the way that they opened the portal, and it's, that was a great thing. To see a Spider-Man, and you might not realize what's happening, but then he jumps into frame, and I knew it was happening once they opened the portal. I knew this has to be it. This has to be it. And I love that they sort of took their time with it and not just revealed them like instantly. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, also just the fanfare of them talking about the old movies, like you said, talking about old villains, really enjoyable, and also, talking about the things that fans talk about. Where does Toby, shoot his webs from? Just the wrists.
Yeah.
Just a nice moment there.
Yeah,
acknowledging those fan theories.
Yeah. I think they handled it very, very well, I thought. But yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm calling this fan theories. Those are drunken discussions at the bar, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. We talk about those things all the time.
Well, not anymore. We have the answer.
Yeah. Anyway, those are certainly our initial thoughts.
Yes.
Definitely worth seeking out, but
yes.
I'm sure you have already, because otherwise I would not listen to this.
Yeah.
But then again, we didn't really tell you anything that you didn't expect, other than maybe Aunt May,
Yeah, I think that was the biggest twist in the whole movie.
Right. Wouldn't you say? I would say
Yeah.
so, yeah, for sure.
Poor Marissa Tomei, I really liked her.
Yeah. And I mean, the ending, the last thing, because but like the whole ending of like them now having to forget that, that to me was a bit like, I didn't understand what was different about it to the first spell.
Well, he didn't have time though. He had to concentrate all his energy on that, and to compromise it once again was too risky, and maybe he didn't have. It was a bigger spell to do, I suppose, because now even more people who knew who he was.
Sure. But like, Strange wants to send everyone back because it's for the greater good, all the villains. And then he wouldn't come up with the idea of making everyone forget who's Peter Parker. Then it actually takes Peter to go like, what if they were all forgot?
Yeah.
But, and Strange just goes like, yeah, but you know what that means, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It's a friendship
slightly
moment.
sadder life.
Right. But then I actually enjoyed the way that they wrapped it up with like MJ and like in the diner and, him not saying anything and just like taking it in they're all good actors too. That's got to be said.
They are really fucking good. I mean, Zendaya really coming into her own. Amazing movies coming out. Always, when I see her in Spider-Man, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. We're going along. But when I see her in Spider-Man, I always think of her in Malcolm Marie, which is such a different role. She's so much more, grown up in this, of course.
Yes.
It's such a weird contrast to her other roles, but, shows what she can do.
Yeah. I mean, all of your favorites have been in sort of like Marvel things recently, right? Haley Steinfeld and not to spoil.
Haley Steinfeld?
Isn't she one of your favorites too? You talked about how much you loved her.
I do like her quite a bit. I mean, I'm glad that she's in Hawkeye. She's great in there. Didn't really have my eye on her like I did on Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah, I guess. I apologize.
But sure. I mean, who's missing? Amy
Zendaya,
Adams,
obviously, right? Oh,
it's got of who
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, and I hope she's gonna have a really big role in Love and Thunder.
Yeah, sure she will. I'm sure she will. I don't think otherwise she would sign up for it. Anyway, what's next in the MCU? What's the next one?
I guess Doctor Strange's gonna come out soonish.
That can't be.
I think it's 2022 at least. So
yeah, that.
I think it's going to be another show before that. I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, the schedule is out there.
It is. How is that true? How is Doctor Strange the next one? You're right. I thought this was like in May.
There we go. Yeah, Doctor Strange,
right,
then and 4. And then also 2022, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
I don't think that's coming out 2022. There's been some issues there with Letitia Wright and everything. But let's talk that's opening a barrel.
Yes.
But you're absolutely right. I didn't think that Strange was going to be the next one. Maybe there's a show
5
in
months.
between. Yeah.
There are no shows coming out soon as far as I can see. I mean, I see... Is this just movies or show included?
I'm looking at...
This is just the movies that I see.
Yeah. Television. There's like a couple of things.
There we go. We got in 2022, not sure when, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Secret Invasions, Miss Marvel in mid-2022. And Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special.
Right. From Gunn. Yeah. Anyway, so that's it. Yes. Spider-Man No Way Home. It's definitely one of the best cinematic experiences of the year. Fucking happy to see Garfield and Maguire back. And, Tom Holland did a great job as well. And
he's so great. He was born for that role in my in my head.
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly some of the greatest moments, like fan nerdgasm moments since Endgame, for sure, in the MCU.
Really
it's got to be
could
said.
Hear the audience come. They should put that on the poster.
Yeah. And on that note, I'm done. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you so much for stopping by once again. We've been the best thing we've seen podcast. We still are. I don't know why I said been. They say that on TV,
They do.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it was gonna be classy, but I just got confused myself. Check us out at Best Thing Radio on Twitter and Instagram. There you can see the thumbnail that Flo makes for us every week. You can see it also as our thumbnail on YouTube. You can check us out anywhere where you get your podcasts from. Consider dropping a like, a subscribe, and comment. What did you think of the movie? Did you expect all the twists, or did you keep yourself spoiler free and had one heck of a surprise? Yeah, thank you so much. We're gonna talk to you next week on our next regular episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, and Merry Christmas.